those of you who listen to me every Monday, you don't understand how much I appreciate you taking your time to turn that radio on to see what C. Allen is going to talk about today. Last weekend, we was at the Washington, D.C. Convention Center, January 12th and 13th. And we were doing the Celebrity Beauty Weekend. This is where we had over 30 celebrity artists. We had Chrisette Michele sing on the stage. We had 45 vendors. We had so many people. It was thousands of people who came out on Sunday, and maybe like 1,000 on Monday or something like that. And what I appreciated the most was Trendy Lindy called down to the convention center. I got on the phone and I started talking to the listeners and told you guys to come down and see me. And when I finished my class, Trendy and Henri, there was a line of people waiting to see C. Allen. Many of them were the listeners from the C. Allen Morning Show. You didn't have to take time to go down to the convention center to wait in the line to see me. I just appreciate you so much. There were some people who said, I just want to see what you look like. You know, everyone said the same thing, Alonzo. They say, you do not look like how you sound. Everyone say the same thing. I said, I guess you're looking for an old man. Well, let me tell you, I'm not an old man. I'm in my early 40s. I'm not an old man. And all of the listeners who came down, they said, you do not look like how you sound on the radio. So I was just super excited that you guys came down. I don't take anything for granted. I appreciate you allowing me to come into your homes, come into your cars, come into your office buildings Monday after Monday after Monday. Listen, our 1-800 number is 1-800-450-7876. Today, I want to hear from you. If you're home from work, if you're there, if you're listening, I want to know, what do you think happened to the dream, and how can we keep the dream alive? It's just so many things that we can kind of go over and talk about. One of the things I think that we should probably start with, guys, is that Dr. King believed in hard work, integrity, and personal achievement opposed to skin color. Now, my question that I posed to my team today is, where do you think we lost? I'm not going to say the dream, but where do you feel, Henri, that we have kind of misplaced Dr. King's belief? Because I just said that he believed in hard work, integrity, and personal achievement, and not skin color. And do you feel that African Americans today are living up to the dream that Martin Luther King had? Talk to me, Henri.
Well, I personally believe that as far as what happened to the dream, I don't think anything has happened as far as in a negative way. I think it's been more or less being patient and letting the dream be fulfilled, because basically what's happened, I mean, it's kind of like, if you think about it, like in the Bible days, God gave Noah a word, and he told Noah, okay, well, I'm going to bring a flood. Noah preached about that for decades, and before it came to pass. And it's the same type of concept. I believe that, this is his dream, for us to do this. And it's going to take, because like I was watching the documentary on him last night, and after he got through speaking, the commentator said, and we still have a lot of work to do. So that's what I think. I think we're still in the working phase of the dream. Instead of the fulfillment of the dream is coming, we're still in the working phase of it. Black people, colored people.
Henri, I disagree.
I
disagree. I disagree because I disagree, and you speaking to the mic, Trendy. I disagree because I feel that, well, first of all, say it again. Give it to me in a nutshell. I think
we're still in the working phase of the dream. The dream is
I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that because it has been 50 years. We just celebrated 50 years on the March on Washington for jobs and for freedom. The disparity between black and white unemployment is the same as it was 50 years ago.
But that's why I was saying
wait a minute. No, you said we're in progress. My question is, my God, what kind of progress have we made in 50 years when I asked earlier about we believe in hard work, integrity, personal achievement? Remember when I said in Dr. King's book, Why Can't We Wait? He said, I see what the white folks are doing. My question is, this is my paraphrase version. My question is, what are you doing for yourself? The problem that I find in today's society dealing with African Americans, and I am one,
Yes.
is that most of us, we don't want to work.
That's
We
true.
want things handed to us. And I'm sorry, I
That's
know,
true.
call me down, 1-800-450-7876. I'm ready for you. When I tell you, part of the problem, in my opinion, is, okay, we got to call on her. Okay, we get a call. Part of the problem, in my opinion, is we don't want to work, Andre. Now, there are a lot of things going on. We're going to talk about the felons, and we're going to talk about all the other stuff. But what I'm talking about is the people that most of the times, everybody want people to do stuff for them. But the question is, what are we doing for ourselves? Let's go to the phone line. We'll get back to Andre in a minute. Let's go to the phone line. All right, Dr. Ed, talk to me this morning.
Yes.
Well, welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show. We're talking today, it's King Holiday. We're talking how to keep the dream alive. What happened to the dream? Talk to me, Dr. Ed.
Yes, thank you very much. And your program, we need to multiply what you guys are doing on the program. It's very good. Information is power and all that. But the thing here is, there are people out there that still have the dream, and then we're overpowered. And sir, if you look at, just take a drive across this country, you go up and down the West Coast, up down 95, going south, and then take drive across the middle state of the country. We are being overpowered. We are talented people. There are people out there who do want to work, but they don't have the information or the wherewithal to do it. The power is being robbed from us. The information is being robbed. Like, for example, you're on the talk radio program, the AM, old-fashioned AM broadcast system. I'm a PhD scientist. I'm a physical scientist. Just because you have a PhD doesn't mean anything. That means your chances may be a little bit better. But go into industry, go into government and private industry, you're still fighting the same battle that we fought before. And I believe you are correct that where have we made the progress? It seems like we've gone backwards in a lot of ways. But look at this thing. Look at the information that's being poured out to us. You have this right-wing media, the 50,000-watt clear channel broadcast facility. Our people don't have that means. That if you could just multiply the voice that you have right now today on your program, if you can go out on these 50,000-watt systems and go out to the AM radio stations, everybody has AM radio in their car. You have these in your house. But a high-tech media system, the masses of the people that you're trying to reach, they're not there yet.
True.
Now, for example, they're getting it. We're coming up the path.
That's true, Dr. Ed. That's true.
Widescreen television and our widescreen system with the digital broadcast, but it's going to be in about 5 or 10 years. We're going to start catching up. But therefore, guess what? Look, the 11 months from now, those primaries are going to be here before we know it. If we don't start connecting with these people, and I blame the FCC for this, the Federal Communications Commission, and what we don't have the support mechanism, and I think there's fear across our country. The fear that we're going to wake up. We managed to put the commander-in-chief in the White House that looks like us, and that's fear. The people that are fighting us because they have this fear. They want to do everything they can do to stop this man from making progress.
True.
And we got to do that.
True.
And you guys, if you can multiply yourself 1,000 times, figure out how you can do that.
And you know what, Dr. Ed, let me say this. But first, I thank you for the compliment. And also, there's a lot of truth into what you're saying, because I look at mainstream media and I look at how we are depicted and how we are portrayed in mainstream media. And yes, we have the own channel, but that's one channel out of hundreds of channels. And that one channel, it took me almost a year fighting with the cable company just to be able to get that in my own home. So I hear what you're saying. I think, Dr. Ed, that it starts, and I agree that we are going backwards, but it also starts with the leaders that we do have. It starts with the church. It starts with social organizations. It starts with the fraternities and the sororities. All the organizations that have an opportunity to reach the masses of people, they need to be up on point in reference to what needs to be done. You hear me?
Oh, yes. Now, I have some ideas for you. And I'll just run this past you, maybe you're offline. I can,
Yeah, because we got to take a commercial
contact you
break.
somehow or another.
Yeah, we got to take a commercial break. But listen, doctor, listen, we at the Bennett Career Institute, we need people like you in science to come and do be a guest lecturer and all of those things. Just give us a call in the office. That number is 526-1400, 202. Okay?
526.
1400. Yes, my extension is 19. Give me a call sometime this week. We're off today. Well, call me this week so we can so we can further discuss offline how we can work together. Okay, Dr. Ed?
Very good. That's 202.
Yes.
526-1400. Okay.
Correct. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Listen, I want you to call me. We got to take a commercial break. Today, we're talking about how to keep the dream alive and what happened to the dream. It's been 50 years since the March on Washington. Have we improved? 1-800-450-7876. I really want to hear from you this morning. 1-800-450-7876. We'll be right back after these messages.
If you work your grace, the grace will work for you. Company, teach the lesson.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Design.
Good morning, this is WOL Traffic Update brought to you by Food Lion. On the Beltway, we're okay. No problems. Inner loop or outer loop of the Beltway looking good right now. Outbound on Route 50, if you're leaving the district heading up toward the Beltway. Eastbound on Route 50 before you get to 410 after 202. Construction was in the right lane with just a brief delay. Inbound, everything is open. Visit your local Food Lion for thousands of MVP specials like 3-pound bags of Gala apples, $2.99. Now your WOL weather forecast. We're under a winter storm watch for tomorrow. Today, though, partly sunny, a high near 50. For tonight, increasing clouds down to 30. Tomorrow, temperatures falling into the 20s with snow pretty much all day, 3 inches or more expected. Everyone's looking for an encouraging sign in today's economy. The fact is, you'll find one right here. Contact your local State Farm agent today like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
You wanna go? All of you who wanna go to college, wanna go? You best listen to this knowledge. Listen, you gotta be a go-getter, cause it's hard to get there. Get up in their face, get up in their space, so ask for help and do not stop. Knowhowtogo.org, let's ride.
That was Farnsworth Bentley with Wanna Go. For more college info, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
When you have a drug or alcohol problem, your whole world stops making sense. You can get help for yourself or a loved one and make sense of life again.
Good morning.
For information, treatment referral, and most importantly, help, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
All right, everyone. We're back here live, 1450 AM WOL, where information is power. Today, we're talking about the dream. How to keep the dream alive. What happened to the dream? Let's go to Nia. I believe this is my one of my good listeners. Nia, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Allen. This is your Nia.
Yes, this is my Nia. Okay, talk to me, Nia. Talk to me about the dream.
Well, I think it's more of not just a dream, but it's building of a civilization. And no civilization was built in 50 years that I know of, that I've read of. This is a whole new civilization of us coming from being under someone's wing. And Dr. King was leading us to learn how to live on our own. At the same time, he had a foot in his neck, telling him that, no, you can't let these people who we brought over here discover that they can live alone, that they can live by themselves, that they can be a nation, that they can be a part of this nation, that they can rise up. And that's where you come in so important to us, Mr. Bennett, because you training those kids over there, those young adults over there, you're showing them that there's a bigger and there's a better way. Mm-hmm. But it's just like raising a child. You just can't tell a child one time, keep your elbows off the table. You tell them repeatedly. You tell them again when they turn 13. You remind them again when they become young adults. And then you remind them again when they're going off into the world to live on their own.
Okay, Nia. No, I definitely agree with that. My question now is, what do you think is the core issue? Because today we're talking about not just what's going on the show, but I've gotten listeners to email me. They want me to comment on the twerking parties where they have Martin Luther King image there with great big chains on and sweatsuits and all of that. And they feel that it is a disgrace. They feel that we are going so far behind opposed to coming up from our bootstraps that he talks about in his book. But people are feeling that we are in the worst situation even with an African-American president. Talk to me.
What are those people doing themselves? What are they doing in their homes, in their houses with their kids? Who would bring such a thing as twerking on a day like this when we have other work to do? That has nothing to do with anything. If someone has that in their mind, leave that over there where they're doing that. Go to them and talk to them in private. But in a large segment like this, I wouldn't bring anything like that up. It's too negative. Okay. People have to learn. We're learning as children. This society it's anew. The black man living in someone else's land and taking the slave monsters' religion, that's new.
Okay.
That's all new. We're a whole new breed of people.
Got you. So let me ask you this. Nia. In your opinion, how do we keep the dream alive?
Teaching.
Teaching.
Teaching. Emotionally teaching, mentally teaching, physically teaching, spiritually teaching.
Got you.
And that's where you come in. Thank you so much for all that you do in the community. I will continue to listen to you, and you are a fearless leader, and I really appreciate you and all you do.
Thank you so much, Nia. I love you to death. All right, let's go to line 2, which is Tyrone. Tyrone, good morning. Welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show.
Well, good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Fine. How are you all?
And Tyrone, let me just say this. I just appreciate that you took time out your schedule to come down to the Washington Convention Center both days on Sunday and Monday to take part in all the activities and actions. And you did not have to take time out of your schedule to come down there to celebrate the beauty weekend with us. And I definitely appreciate you sitting in on the end of my class. I appreciate you listening to me Monday after Monday. I just want you to know I definitely appreciate you. Now, today, Tyrone, we're talking about what happened to the dream, how to keep the dream alive. What's your comment?
I think that it goes back further than just today. Once Dr. King was assassinated, the dream started to fall apart then, because once he was assassinated, what happened was, instead of us as black people as a whole continuing to carry on, continuing to hold up the bloodstained banner and carry on in his absence, we did like a lot the Indians do. We retreated after the chief was killed. And we dropped the bloodstained banner, never picked it up. Instead of picking it up, we picked up drugs, which means then we went on and picked up crime. We picked up destruction. And we didn't bother to continue to remove the chain from our mind.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this, Tyrone. Talk to me right now. What would you tell the listeners, before I turn over to Trendy, what would you tell the listeners? How do we keep the dream alive, Tyrone?
We keep the dream alive by continuing to remove the chains of slavery, of destruction from our minds. And that has to be done individually, collectively. And education is certainly what you're doing and what many other institutions are doing, is certainly a step. But if the individuals themselves don't look at themselves in the mirror and say, I'm my own best friend, or I can be my own worst enemy, then the chains will continue to be on their minds, and the dream will just simply continue to fade.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tyrone. I want you to keep
and I
keep
appreciate
listening.
all you all do here.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, then, bye-bye.
All right, now Sabrina Melton on Facebook, and if you're not following me, please make sure that you follow me on. Yes, but Sabrina Melton on Facebook says society killed it, killing each other, taking from each other, instead of helping each other. It's said every other race can help each other, and we as African Americans pull each other down. What's your comment on that, Trendy?
Wow. I kind of agree with that. I was reading as you were reading.
Okay.
But I have a question for you, C. Allen. You said that you don't think that. I mean, we're in the same place that we were 50 years ago. But do you honestly think that you would be able to own that building that you own in the heart of Catholic University 50 years ago?
No.
I don't think.
And what I mean by the same place we were 50 years ago, I'm talking about in our minds. I don't think our mindset has changed. Now, of course, there have been strides and there have been advancements with African Americans, absolutely.
Yes.
But what I'm talking about is the mindset, because there was a time when it's past 50 years now, when we had grandmothers and great grandmothers who talked to us, like some of you grandmamas listening to me now, when we made sure grandma always kept us on point.
True.
Because of the life that grandma led and what she had to suffer and what she had to go through.
True.
The grandmamas today are in the clubs with their children.
Because we have babies raising babies. They are much younger than they were, though there were young grandmothers back then, but they were family oriented. They had husbands, they took care of home. Now it seems like everyone's for themselves.
Well, it goes back to, and we want to kind of stay on topic, how do we keep the dream alive? What happened to the dream? Nia said something that was really important, and that was the education piece.
Yes, definitely.
It is a shame and it is a travesty, Andre, that a lot of people and a lot of young folks still have no clue of their history outside of what they're taught in school. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, my mother made us, there used to be an encyclopedia man coming around knocking on doors trying to sell encyclopedias. Mm-hmm. And my mother bought the set of encyclopedias, and she gave us, during the summertime, Andre, she gave us assignments out the encyclopedia because we were not in school, but she wanted to keep our mindset going. Yes. So she gave us homework out of the encyclopedia that we had to turn into her. But what it did was it kind of kept us focused. Yes. My question today is, in most households, do you even have a dictionary? We have replaced the encyclopedias and the dictionaries with the television.
Yes, we get
even when we get on the internet, are we on the internet on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or are we researching? Are we looking at articles? Are we learning more about our history? One of the best things that you can do in reference to keeping the dream alive is look at the History Channel. Take an opportunity and go back to the library and look at the archives of the Afro newspaper that goes way back past 100 years to look at what was going on. Because see, what people keep forgetting, and I'm going to address Sabrina, then I'm going to get Rashida Franklin, but what Sabrina was talking about how society killed it and all of that, we ourselves have to come together and make sure that our children and our children's children know the history. I believe in my heart, Alonzo, that if a lot of these young girls really knew what Harriet Tubman was about, and Bethune and Mary McLeod Bethune was about, and all of these other great leaders, I don't think that they would do half of the things that they do. If a lot of guys really paid attention to our leaders, instead of wearing an Emmett Till t-shirt, but really find out what was going on back in those days, then I don't believe that our pants would be hanging down. I don't believe that our underwear be showing. I don't believe that we will be as ignorant as we are if we took time just to look at nothing but our history. We're going to talk about. Wait a minute. We're going to talk about it, but let's go to. She's been on hold for a lot. Let's go to our beauty in the moment, since we only have 2 minutes for the commercial break. Good morning, Miss Franklin, with the beauty in the moment.
And good morning, Mr. Bennett. Good morning, Trendy Lindy, and all my listeners.
Good morning.
This is cosmetologist and makeup artist Rashida Franklin with your beauty in the moment. Now, today is a very, very special day for me because I am on the line actually introducing myself to you guys as the newest team member and stylist to the C. Allen Signature Salon, 705 Florida Avenue, Northwest, D.C. I will start as a new stylist and makeup artist this Friday, January 24th. Please call into the salon and book your appointments with me. I'll be doing facials, full face makeovers, hair all day long. I have some great specials running for my first-time clients. I have blowout specials, full face makeovers, party night makeovers, and glam specials. So you want to give me a call at the salon, or you can most definitely catch me on my cell at 301-792-5697. I'm so excited to be joining the new C. Allen Signature Salon, 705 Florida Avenue.
All right. And Ms. Franklin, I'm going to talk about that later on in the show today, but thank you so much for calling. It's commercial time, everyone. And listen, when we come back before the end of the show, we're going to give somebody a good opportunity to go visit Rashida at the 705 Salon. All right, this is 1450 AM WOL, where information is power. We'll be back after these messages.
1450 WOL.
Looking good. I say your gift.
Good morning, I'm Doug Parrish. Here's the latest from News1.com, brought to you in part by the Exogen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. So fast, accurate, and easy to use, a must-have for any household. Well, it's a day of service across the D.C. area as the nation honors Martin Luther King Jr., volunteers being urged to find ways to help in their communities. Dr. King's son says this holiday isn't about relaxing. It's about being part of the process of helping realize the dream.
When we think about a holiday, usually it means pause, relaxing. This holiday is not about pausing and relaxing. It's about getting engaged.
Today will also be very busy at the King Memorial on the National Mall. The D.C. area will be getting significant snowfall. A winter storm watch goes into effect tomorrow. Forecasters say 2 to 4 inches of snow is expected for Tuesday. And starting tomorrow night, the temperatures will take a plunge as another blast of Arctic air moves in and chills much of the East Coast. Well, police are investigating a quadruple shooting in Northern Virginia. 4 people were found with gunshot wounds early this morning outside a restaurant in Manassas. We do know that a suspect has been taken into custody. President Obama says smoking marijuana does not pose a bigger danger than drinking alcohol. In an interview with the New Yorker magazine, the president says he's troubled that so many minority kids get in legal trouble for using marijuana when so many others go unpunished. Obama went on to say that he still views smoking weed as a bad habit and a vice, like smoking cigarettes. In sports, the Seahawks beat the 49ers. The Broncos beat the Patriots, setting up the Super Bowl. The big game now set for February 2nd. And this report brought to you in part by State Farm Insurance. Call 1-800-STATE-FARM or go to statefarm.com. I'm Doug Parrish. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to news1.com.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
My gift works for me.
All right, everyone. All right. We're back here live. The C. Allen Morning Show. We are super, super excited to be here. What we're talking to, and we thank all of those who called in. With the lines are still open, 1-800-450-7876. We're talking about how to keep the dream alive. What happened to the dream? So going back to what Trendy was saying, and what I mean that things haven't changed in 50 years, I'm talking about things like there is still a disparity between African Americans and Caucasians in reference to unemployment. You know, when I say something like things have gotten worse, we're talking about, like, for an example, the stop and frisk policy. I mean, which is completely racist. You know, when we talk about the voting rights protection, things that we shouldn't be talking about 50 years later. I mean, a lot of things that's happening is just a slap in the face. You know, one caller said something that made a lot of sense, and I may have heard it on Roland Show or something, but somebody said, I heard today, how people that do not look like us are just angry. They're angry because there is a African American president in office, and they have no problem displaying their anger. Let me explain, Alonzo, what happened to me this weekend. I was at the everyone know, because I've been talking about it for months, Washington D.C. has a new law in place, D.C. Section 3730. It talks about any beauty professional must obtain 6 continuing education units in order to renew their license. The license renewal is in April. Most of the people who do not keep up with the D.C. registry, which is the majority of the people, had no clue that this law was going to be in effect, even though the state board has been offering free CEU classes and all of that. So, Alonzo, we had close to 400 people who came to the Washington Convention Center, and it was mixed. It was split half and half. Half were African American, half were either Caucasian or another race, what have you. And they brought their anger, Alonzo, with them to the convention center, and they took their anger for the state board and the new law that the district has passed. They tried to put that on us, with some of them was being extremely rude. I was sitting in the chemistry class, and they came and got me because there was a French woman who was screaming at the top of her lungs, and I said today, Trendy and Henri, that I thank the Lord that I didn't think about the gentleman who screamed in the chambers when the president was giving his State of the Union address, and the gentleman jumped up and said, "That's a lie," which still offends me to this day, right here to this day, January the 20th, still the 20th of January. I'm still offended by what the gentleman said to our commander-in-chief. And I said to myself, I thank the Lord that didn't pop in my mind when that lady jumped up and started harassing the instructor who came all the way from New York City for FREE to classes, and she's so angry that she had to sit in the continuing education units. But the strange thing to me is when Dr. Franklin in the chemistry class asked the people what was hair, no one knew the answer. When she asked questions like what was inorganic and organic, none of the people who do hair on a day-to-day basis, none of them knew the answers. In the class that I taught, I asked, and I had 266 people in my classroom, and I said, let me see the hands of those of you who do photo shoots. And the reason why I said that, because of my famous quote, and all my listeners know it, Madam C.J. Walker, it doesn't matter how good you are if no one knows. I asked them that, Alonzo, 5 people lift their hands, and I said, how dare you? How dare you get upset with the Bennett Career Institute and the State Board of Cosmetology mandating that you have 6 continuing education units, and you can't even tell me what is hair, something that you touch every day. It goes back to a little deeper. We're talking about what happened to the dream, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know, I am fully aware that some of those folks in there that didn't look like me, they were drunk on a case of can't take. They couldn't take the fact that it was an African American school. They couldn't take the fact that we rented the Washington D.C. Convention Center. They couldn't take the fact that we brought in Dr. Yolanda Holmes, Dr. Sharon Franklin, Dr. Wanda Dyson, all of those kind of great people. And the first thing one person said to me, he came out there, Alonzo, and he says, well, I just think that it should be more diverse with the instructors. And I could have said a lot of things, but I didn't, because, you know, I need to be even keel across the board. But I said to myself, what's wrong with Seven Brown, master esthetician from the Harlem Skin Clinic? What's wrong with Dr. Yolanda Holmes? What's wrong with Dr. Wanda Dyson, Dr. Sharon Frank? Trust me, what's wrong with C. Allen with the instructor's license? Because if I would have thought about it, Andre, I would have said to them, I did not get my license from Sears and Roebuck. You see what I'm saying? I put my time in.
Yeah.
And the first thing that the Caucasian brother came to me and said was, well, I think it should have been more diverse. And don't get me wrong, I understand that people want to see people that look like them. I understand that. But one thing that we have to realize is this is 2014. Good quality information is good quality information no matter where it comes from. I think that one of the things that we have to think about is how to keep the dream alive and what has happened to the dream. Because we see today, I would never forget, I was in Whole Foods on P Street, and President Obama just won. And a Caucasian man kept hitting the back of my heel with his grocery cart. The first time, Alonzo, he did that, I said, okay, it was a mistake. The second time I did that, I said he didn't know what he was doing. The third time he did it, he got it.
Yeah.
Do you hear what I said? Because 3 strikes and you're out. The third time he did it, he got it. And I cannot tell you on the air what happened, praise the Lord. But the only thing I can tell you was after the third time he got it. But I just used it as an example to say that we have people out here that are angry. They're angry because of what they think could happen when we bring ourselves together, because for so long since slavery, it has been embedded within us to keep us apart and to keep the confusion started. And even in 2014, people still can't be together. People still start confusion. Sabrina didn't say nothing wrong when she said what we're doing to each other, and which is the truth. So the question that I have for you today is, when are we going to realize that we must continue or must start to pull everybody together? Because if not, it is going to be a travesty. Do you know the cases of HIV and AIDS with black women right here in Washington, D.C.? And the question is, what are we doing about it? Oh my God, what is going on when we turn on the news and people are killing their babies? I just read an article last night right in Germantown, 2 women killing a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, calling themselves doing an exorcism. What we have to remember, and I don't want to go off the topic, part of our problem is we have to deal with the mental health situation in the United States. There are so many people that are just classified as cuckoo, and nothing is happening. They're not taking the proper medication. They're pushed in mainstream society, or what they do is put them in the jail cells and put them right in jail along with everybody else, not taking the opportunity to really deal with the situation. We have a mental health crisis that must be addressed. And what's happening is that by it not being addressed, our jail cells are constantly filling up. The question, everybody, I don't want to get off track. I want to go back to Andre. The question is how to keep the dream alive and what happened to the dream. Talk to me, Andre.
Well, I really feel like in a lot of ways it's more of a personal thing. I mean, you said it earlier about everything being personal. I mean, there's some exceptions to every rule. There are some people who are really striving to keep the dream alive. There's some people who don't care either way. I mean, I'm an alien here. I call myself an AT alien because I'm here by way of Atlanta. But I look at a lot of the kids that are in this particular society. I mean, right here in the nation's capital, they seem to not even care what's going on right across the hill. You can from my house see the capital, and they don't even care. They're right here in nation's capital, and they just walk around every day, with their mind, 100 different places other than, what's going on with their future. And I think a lot of it has to do with the parenting and the lack thereof. But, like, let's say, for instance, there are situations, where some of the parents do care and they do. The kid has the iPad and all of the gadgets that most kids have today, but instead of YouTube videos and things of that nature, they're looking at they do have the Encyclopedia Britannica. I mean, things have changed. You don't have to sell door-to-door salesman no more. You can get it right on the internet.
You know what, Andre? So you said something. Not to cut you off. You said something that I think that is important. And that is that I'm looking at families that are doing pretty decent. Families that have their children in ballet school and their little sons on the soccer field and all of that. And they do have the iPods and the latest tennis shoes and the phone posits and all that kind of stuff. And I'm talking to you because you're listening to me right now in your nice Bowie home. The question is, what are we doing social-wise with them? What I mean by that is, are we sitting down with them, talking to them about daily events? Are we making them read the newspaper to us, and so we can not only know about their reading intellect and their skills, but then also how can they verbalize, and then how can they break down what they just read in the newspaper? Are we having prayer time with our children on a day-to-day basis? What kind of conversations do we have in the car, or is it the music turned up, or they got their iPad on or their iPod on in their ear and they ride all the way to school? What kind of time are we spending with our children? Do we take them to see 12 Years of a Slave? Are we talking to them about how to keep, what is the significance of today? Are we having those kind of thought-provoking conversations in our homes, or are we giving them $20 so they can hang out at the Capitol Boulevard? All right, everybody, it's break time here. I want to hear your thoughts. 1-800-450-7876. 1-800-450-7876. Our question is, how do we keep the dream alive? And what happened to the dream? This is the C. Allen Morning Show. We'll be right back after these messages.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning. This WOL traffic update is brought to you by Food Lion. Southbound on 295 before Howard Road. There's a broken down truck in the right lane, so look for a bit of a delay now southbound on 295 before Howard Road, and you want to stay over to the left. It was construction heading outbound on Route 50 after 202 before 410 along the right side. Visit your local Food Lion for thousands of MVP specials like 3-pound bags of Gala apples, $2.99. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by State Farm. For today, partly cloudy, a high near 50. Tonight, though, increase in clouds down to 30 for low. Tomorrow, snow, 3 inches at least possible in town, with temperatures dropping to near 20 degrees by early afternoon. Everyone's looking for an encouraging sign in today's economy. The fact is, you'll find one right here. Contact your local State Farm agent today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
You wanna go? All of you who wanna go to college, wanna go? You best listen to this knowledge. Listen, you gotta be a go-getter, cause it's hard to get there. Get up in their face, get up in their space, so ask for help and do not stop. Knowhowtogo.org, let's ride.
That was Farnsworth Bentley with Wanna Go. For more college info, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
We inherited this business from our father.
Who got it from his father?
We needed an emergency preparedness plan in case of fire, cyber attack,
or anything.
So we went to ready.gov and got free checklists, templates, and more to be prepared. Thanks to ready.gov, we worry less about keeping Rizzo and Sons in business.
Only it should be Rizzo and Grandsons.
And granddaughter.
Right.
Go to ready.gov for details on creating an emergency preparedness plan. Becoming a success is hard work. Protecting it isn't. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Ad Council, and this station.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
All right, everyone, we're back here live. I tell you, sometimes I wish that we had a camera here in the studio, because the conversation continues during the break time. But one of the things that we were talking about was, and Trinity Linda made a perfect point, and that is that, you know, the way that the economy is today, we spend so much time working so our children can have a better life than we had. But then when we come home, when it's time that they need that quality time and stuff from us, we're exhausted. We're drained. We work so hard to put our children in the ballet schools and in the this schools and the that schools that we work so hard trying to give them the best. But oftentimes I think that we're forgetting that one of the most important things that we can give them is our time. A lot of times children want the presence of their mother, their father. They want the presence. They don't want to be talking to you on the phone while you on your second job. And they're not understanding that you're working very hard for them. But at the end of the day, we need to also make time for our kids and give them some time and understanding. And also, because we have to remember, everyone, education and learning doesn't start in the school. It starts in the home. Yes. And if we are leaving, and I notice this, even in the beauty industry, I say to some of my stylists, I feel sorry. And I try to mind my business because I don't have any kids. I have a lot of godchildren, but I don't have any kids. And I say to myself, you know, you work so hard in the salon. You come into the salon about 10 in the morning. You don't get home until 10 at night, but you got small children. Who's raising those kids? Let me just tell y'all something. This don't have nothing to do with what happened to the Dream Keep Dreaming Alive, but let me just tell you this. Every day I counsel students. It hurts my heart when I listen to their upbringing. And mine was bad too. But mine wasn't bad no way near as, and when I look back, I had a perfect upbringing. When I listen to the students who tell me what happened to them growing up. And oftentimes I say, Alonzo, well, where was mom and where was dad? And most of the time they were working because they had to work. And are we forgetting that when we're at work trying to make a life better for our children are now vulnerable to the people that we have watching them. They're vulnerable to the internet now. They're vulnerable to the streets. And it only takes a second to realize that you have 10, 11, 12-year-olds home alone. Because we don't go back to that policy. You know, back in my day, I was left at home at 5 years old. Lord, right now, my mama be in jail if that happened. But I was left at home at 5 years old. But I knew not to go near the front door. I knew not to tell people when they called there that I was home alone. There's the things that I knew I could not do. And my mother checked on me every hour. And then lunchtime is when my brother came and got me ready. Because back in those days, kindergarten was half a day. And I used to go to school in the afternoon. And they would come and get me ready. But I knew better. What I'm saying today is when we're talking about the dream and we're talking about what's going on in society and Martin Luther King dream and all of that, I believe in my heart, ladies and gentlemen, here in the studio, that we have to take a personal effort to understand that in order for a dream to come to realization, we have to do our part. And what does that mean when we say do our part? Nia stated it so eloquently. It starts with education. In order for us to be able to educate our children, to educate ourselves. Let me tell you something that hurt my heart last week. I gave a employee / volunteer. I gave that person money. And because he didn't have a checking account, I gave it to him in cash, and I said to him, count it. Do you know, Andre, that the person counted it 3 times and still couldn't get the dollar amount correct? Wow. So what I want everybody to understand, that we're not just talking just to be talking. We have real life situations where there are people who are in their 20s and 30s that are still illiterate. We have people in their 20s and 30s that still cannot manage money. And I heard someone say it before. One, it starts with education. Then the next thing goes for economic purposes. We have to learn how to live in today's society economically, we have to start saving money. And I'm saying this to myself. Got to start saving money. Because I hear Joyce Bennett right now saying he need to be saying it to himself. Okay, Joyce Bennett, I heard you. And I'm saying it to myself. We have to do better, because at the end of the day, Ray and Linda, we fall so far behind. If you get $1,000 because of some whatever you got, commission, or sometimes we have to say, let me take $750 and put it in a CD. Let me go over to Bank of America, get a CD so it can mature, so I can make a little something, and then eventually let me borrow against it. So I'm borrowing against my own money, opposed to as soon as you get the money, it's all gone. These are things that we have to think about, because we're talking about from an economic standpoint, how are we going to slowly but surely build wealth? First of all, it starts with us having education. We have to learn. So in order to keep the dream alive, my first thing is we have to get educated. It bothers me, Trendy, when I go to, every year we go to University of the District of Columbia. We go there for our big hair battle that we do, and this year's March 30th. What bothers me is we have a beautiful campus, University of the District of Columbia, and every year, Alonzo, the majority of my students between 18 and 25 say they've never been on a campus. Many of them say they never knew where it was. Many of them said they have heard of it, but they've never seen it or been there before. I have a problem with that, because it tells us, what do we want with the education that we have? Or what about the student at the Bennett Career Institute who come to me and say, Mr. Bennett, I'm not learning nothing, but then I realize, how can you learn something when you don't come to school? But then it goes back to how expensive it is just to get back and forward to school, and nobody's helping the proprietary schools. Metro doesn't have a program for the struggling student to get back and forward to school. If you're in high school, they got something for you, but outside of that, every time we call them, they said there's nothing that they can do for us. But the question is, what are we going to do for ourselves? Talk to me, Trendy.
Wow, it's been real hot and heated. You are on fire. You haven't been here in 2 weeks, but it's been great information. MLK Day. One of the things that MLK Day stands for, it's a day of service. It's a day that we are to come together. We are to give back to the community. So it's not really a day off, but it should be a day on, a day where we go out and, help feed the homeless, pick up garbage all around the community, take some young persons and just teach them about what Martin Luther King stood for. So MLK is such an important day. And I believe...
Well, wait a minute, Trendy, wait a minute. Now, you said something that I think that we need to talk about for a moment, and that is taking someone. One of the things that I think that I was telling my mom for 2014 that I was going to start a mentorship program, because part of the problem that I see is, where are the leaders?
Yes.
Who don't have an ulterior motive? We're the leaders. Did I say that one?
Yes, you said that.
Where are the leaders that is going to pick folks up and kind of train them? Because one of the things that I want us to talk about, Ray, in our next hour, and we got to take a break in a minute. So when we come back, it will be the 11 o'clock hour. I want to talk about the penal system. I want to talk about the disparity with the felons, people that come out with a felony, and how it is almost impossible for them to get the kind of jobs that is out there. So they find themselves doing the same thing over and over again. And next thing you know, so one of the reasons why history, ladies and gentlemen, repeats itself with your nephews and your cousins and your uncles and your daddy is because half society let the ex-felons down. Once they get out of jail, okay, you did your time, you put your time in, you came, once you came home, what is there for you? You get a list of places where you can go that will hire felons, but many of them have changed their rules, and then it goes into what kind of felony you have, whether I'm going to hire you or not. Today we're talking about giving back. We're talking about what happened to the dream. We're talking about how to keep the dream alive. And when we come back, we're going to talk about ex-offenders. This is C. Allen, Trendy Lindy, Ray. It's the C. Allen Morning Show. We'll be back after these messages.
Can't be a better you than you. And you wear it. And you wear it well.
1450 WOL.
Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Smile. Smile, buddy. Come on. Smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy. You know how boys are.
Or maybe he's teething. Oh, poor baby. I think his gums hurt.
Maybe he's just tired.
Or maybe his tummy hurts. He didn't eat that much.
Maybe he's not ticklish.
You think maybe he's scared of the dog?
Maybe he'll outgrow it. Maybe it's a phase. Maybe he just doesn't like smiling.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs or see a doctor today for an autism screening. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better. And it can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
This is Louisa. Recently she got help going online.
Okay, so hit that green button.
This is her first video chat.
Oh, Luisa? Oh my gosh, there she is.
And the first time she's seen her niece in 5 years.
It's so good to see you.
See what the internet can help you do at everyoneon.org or call 1-855-387-9166 to find a free training class near you.
Oh, I've missed you.
Brought to you by Connect to Compete and the Ad Council.
I'm Ellie the Mammoth, and my friend Sid the Sloth knows what being a great parent is all about. I'm responsible, loving, You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Visit adoptuskids.org for more information. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
1450 WOL, Washington, D.C., and WPR's HD2, Waldorf, Washington, a Radio 1 station, and worldwide at WOLCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
All right, everyone, we're back here live. My God, I'm one of those people that I have to be notified when the mic is hot because Andre was about to get it so good in the studio this morning, and I would have lost my job, Alonzo, if Miss Kathy Hughes would have heard the things that was going to come out of my mouth to Andre this morning. My gracious! All right, everyone, we're back here live. We're back here live here on the C. Allen Morning Show. I am super duper excited to be with you guys. Let me just say this. I believe this is probably my first show for the year, New Year.
Yes.
Yes. I'm just really grateful and I'm thankful to have the listeners to tune in. I just need you to do a little step further, listeners. I need you to just be a little more proactive with me. And what I mean by that is when we ask you to call in, stop being nervous. Some of you are scared like somebody's watching you or looking at you. Ma'am, can't nobody see you? The second thing is you need to make sure that you follow me if you have the internet. Mr. Graham is Chet, C-H-E-T, Beauty King Bennett on Instagram, on Facebook, and also on Twitter is at the THEC Allen, CALAN morning. This is an opportunity for you to follow me to what's going on, where we're going, all of that kind of stuff. And I think that it's important that you continue to keep up with me. The next big thing that the listeners can do is to come out on March the 30th to the UDC Auditorium, which is going to be the Bennett Career Institute, and Dark and Lovely presents the hair battle. Our students are going to compete for $3,000 first place, $1,500 for second place, and $750 for third place, and then there's a $500 prize for the best fantasy hair. This is our way, of course, along with Dark and Lovely, to invest into the lives of the young folk. One of the things that people have said to me who came out to the convention center was they was just so proud to see so many young people doing stuff on stage, doing stuff on the microphone, doing hair, all of that kind of stuff. They were just so proud of seeing that. And that's what this leg is all about here on the Sea Island Morning Show. I can help someone as I pass along the way. Common is if they do not have a stable background and a support system, what do you think is going to happen? The same thing that got them in that bad situation is what they may have to turn to if no one gives them an opportunity. I think it's unfortunate, and I have a mentee that's going through that thing right now, where he just came home not too long ago, and every place he goes to, once the record comes back and show that he had a felony with the handgun, then they tell him, we cannot use you here. And then it gets to the point when they say to me, well, Sea Island, what do I do when I'm looking for jobs day in and day out and no one is hiring me and I don't have a support system and I have no family? What do I do? Talk to me, Andre.
Well, first of all, Sea Island, this conversation is near and dear to my heart for a lot of reasons. But the first thing I want to say is, and this is just a question I want to pose to people, when is the debt to society paid?
That's good.
Because you say that when a person commits a crime, they owe a debt to society. But when is that debt paid? Because you have people that go in, do 5 years, whatever you mandate, what the crime is punishable for. I mean, you say 3 years or whatever the judge fitting for the crime. This person goes and serve that time, and once they're done, pay for the rest of their lives. Because guess what? Every time they go fill out an application, jaded. But this is what I want to explain to people about applications. When a person fills out an application that is an ex-felon, what they're doing is they're subjecting themselves to open ridicule because they know you're going to find. The fact that they actually are going out there and filling out these applications is a clear indication that they want something better for their lives. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be filling out the applications. They'll be doing what they've been doing that got them in those situations to begin with. So even the fact that a person is attempting and putting themselves, what goes on in your life a lot of times is very private. Everybody in closets. But guess what? Ex-felons don't have skeletons in their closets. Their skeletons are on the forefront. On their faces, they're right there in front of them. And those skeletons go into the job place before they do. And it's sad because, like I said, initially when a person is even trying to fill out an application that is an ex-felon, he's already opening himself to ridicule from the very beginning. And the fact that he's doing that should let you know that he's trying to reform himself and do something different with his life from the very beginning.
Well, the question goes back to, are we doing enough as a society to welcome them back home? Because a lot of ex-felons that I come across, they understood that they made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
They served their time, and when they come home, they realize nobody's giving them an opportunity.
That's right.
One of the things that I said to this gentleman on yesterday, I said one of the challenges that I have to face is when they enroll in school through the Bennett Career Institute for the Barber program, and we're trying to make sure that they have a successful career where now they can make money, and now they do not have to fall back on the drugs or fall back on those dangerous kind of lifestyles that prison. The problem comes in. You may get a government assistance to help pay for you to come to school, but if you don't have any, and my question is, what do you do if there's no family support? Because the gentleman I'm talking about is adopted. He's adopted, and he doesn't know anything about his real family, and his adopted mother is very ill. So he has no one, and he just came home in July after 5 years. So he asked me, well, what do I do? Because I take the $7 and some hour job, and I take it until the background comes back. And once the background comes back, then I'm gone again. Well, what do I do? I got on the phone yesterday and I called people I knew that were either managers or owned their businesses to ask them to give him an opportunity, because this person worked for me at one of my events and did an outstanding job and didn't get paid because it was part of being in school. So I said, if he can do that, being on the clock, well, what will he do if he can get paid for it? But then the question remains, what are you to do when everywhere you go, people are turning you down? He showed me his cell phone because, sometimes you don't believe folk. And I looked at the phone where all he has done is apply for jobs ever since he's been home. The question is, what are we doing with the ex-offenders that come home, that made a mistake, they paid their debt to society, but no one is giving them a leg up? The question that he asked me is, what do I do? I want to continue to come to your school, but how am I going to get back and forth? Because when they call me to come in, I have to go in when those hours are available, and those hours may be during school time. So what do I do? But I know I can be a good barber. So these are questions that I'm asking you all. These are questions that was posed to me, and my thing is that, I can't hire everybody in the world. We don't have positions to continue. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the finances to do that. But the question is, what do you do?
It's unfortunate, C. Allen, because in this economy that we're in right now, there are people with degrees who are without employment. They can't even find a job in the field that they went to school for, so they're taking jobs just so that they can have food on the table and keep a roof over their heads. Therefore, if they're taking these jobs where they're getting less money and it's not even in their fields, it's unfortunate that when people are released from jail, that there's nothing really out there. I mean, even jobs like McDonald's is hard to get now, where you used to could go in, fill out an application, interview that day, and possibly start working the next day. Now you have to go online. I mean, it's not the same. Everything has changed, so it's really hard for almost everyone out there who's trying to survive. You can't, a lot of people are finding it hard to, keep the lifestyles that they once lived, because everyone is having to crunch and stretch to stay abreast. So it's really, really hard, especially for people without support, without family, and just being released from prison to try to make it out here. But there are some wonderful programs out there, such as Project. So much available still for us in DC that if you have to get some help, there is help. You just have to search high and low for it, but there's help available.
Well, and I also think we got to go to commercial, but this person lives in Maryland, and I don't know those kind of resources.
Okay, in Maryland there may not be as many.
They don't have them, which is unfortunate. All right, everybody, it's break time. We'll be right back. This is the C. Allen Morning Show with Henri, Trendy, Lindy, and C. Allen. We'll be back after these messages.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Good morning, this WOL traffic update is brought to you by darcars.com. 295 southbound, broken down truck was in the right lane before Howard Road. Pretty slow as you head down 295 as you enter the district, off and on down toward Howard Road. Central Avenue westbound at the Beltway construction in the right lane. Eastbound, outbound Route 50 after 202 before 410. It's going to be the right lane blocked again today for road work. Only place you'll find the lifetime relationship.
Dream alive to keep it going. So let's talk about some solutions today. Henri, let's close out with the ex-offenders. What do you believe the solution could be to help them when they come home, to get them back on their feet and to get them back? And don't get me wrong, but you know what I thought about? I thought about on the commercial trending that a lot of listeners are saying, well, I gave them a try and they messed me over and all of that. But you know what? Today, since today is a day of service, I don't want to talk about the negative piece, because I have helped out some ex-offenders that has done nothing. You know, you gave them everything in the world to get on their feet, and they're still doing nothing.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about those today. So all of you grandmas who's saying you tired or you wash your hands with peanut because you done tried and got them out of jail 50,000 times, we're not talking about them today. We're not talking about those peanuts. We're talking about the ones who made a mistake, who was young and simple. Now they're trying to get their lives back together, and they are willing to do from cutting grass to shovel snow, whatever they need to do, because at the end of the day, as a man, you want to feel like a man.
That's right.
And
That's
you
right.
want to be able to take care of your family like a man. You want to be able to provide for your family. And not only that, but on the inside, you know, we don't really talk about it, Trendy. I already know what I mean. We also want our family to be proud of us as a man.
Right. That's right. That's right.
We want to be able to hold it down as a man. So there are things that as men that we feel compelled to do in order to get that pat on the back, in order to for our women, could be mother, sister, auntie, wife, whatever, to smile, to say you're awesome, you did a great job, you know. And I think about how Christmas time, you got so many guys going crazy trying to get stuff to be a provider during that time of the year, when we also need to worry about doing the not just Christmas, but doing all the time. So my comment, so Henry, talk to us about let's talk about some solutions. What can we do when it comes to the ex-offender in reference to keeping the dream alive?
Well, I think some of the first steps would be, you know, as individuals, you have to kind of concentrate your job search and change up the way you're doing it, because of course, you know, a lot of these businesses that have corporate offices that they have to answer to, there's this invisible hand up there saying no. And even though this person might want to hire you, you know, they're constricted or restricted by that invisible hand in corporate office saying no, you can't hire these people under this certain criteria. So that's the first thing. You have to concentrate your job search. Go to people who have their own businesses, and those people are more open and, you know, have the ability to make their own decisions as business owners, and they're more willing to give more people a try, especially if you could just show them what you can do. If you give a person an opportunity to show you what they can do, that's the first thing. I think people have to concentrate their job searches. And you know, I hear people say all the time about starting your own business. That is a good idea. But you know, as you know, if you don't have the resources, the capital, and all the other stuff, you can't do those things. But I think the key to it all is education and being patient. And if you don't mind, C. Allen, I want to say that me and a few of my friends, I was showing C. Allen this morning. A few of my friends, we're coming out with a documentary talking about, you know, these different things. These different problems that we're facing as a society, and recidivism and what it means to this society, you know, because really anytime somebody creates another crime, they create another victim. So you hurt society in a lot of different ways. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to eliminate these problems by showing people, you know, what this problem is. A lot of times when you educate people about a problem, you know, and make people realize that there's a problem that exists, it opens the door for conversation. And when you open the door for conversation, that's when change can come through. But I think that once a person has absolutely paid their debt to society, it comes a time where, you know, that has to be put behind them, and they should be allowed to move forward. I mean, I really think that's, you know, so in other words, not only do you have to concentrate your job search and never quit and never give up, but you also, I mean, on the other side of it, some of the laws have to change, because it's just wrong to discriminate against people. Now, what I'm talking about is more or less the people who want to change. Like C. Allen said, there are some people out there who are not going to do right. It doesn't matter what you do. Most of them people are not putting in applications anyway. They already have an application in the Department of Correction somewhere. Their application is there, and they'll tell you in a heartbeat, I'm throwing bricks at the chain gang, and let them keep doing that. If that's what they want to do, let them do it. But what we're talking about is the people who absolutely need to change, want to change because they have children that they're watching out for and things of that nature. So, you know, once everything is, you know, fulfilled as far as our documentary is concerned, I'll be able to relay that information as well. But I'm trying to do is create a change from inside, because some of the laws have to change. Discrimination is wrong. I don't care where it's coming from, black, white, felon, ex-felon, whatever the case may be. To discriminate against somebody is wrong, and everybody should be allowed an opportunity in a free society to live as free people. You know, and I believe that's a change.
And you know what I think about my ladies that I've trained at CCA here at 1901 East Street, and how they come home. The first thing they do is they run up to see me. They enroll in school, and I can think about this one young lady. Her name is Gloria. I get emotional every time I think about it, because Gloria was locked up, and she was locked up, and she was locked up for over a decade. And we trained Gloria on how to do hair. When Gloria got out, she came to me about 6 to 8 months later. I'm assuming because of her support system, she moved to another state. She owned and operate her own beauty salon. She came up to me, Trendy, and on my desk right now you'll still see a dollar bill. She said to me, Mr. Bennett, this was the first dollar that I made as a free woman in my own business. And she gave me that dollar with a beautiful card, and I have it on my desk, and that's something that I would treasure, because I remember seeing her in her uniform. Mm-hmm. And I remember teaching her how to do hair, and I remember how she was good, and she started, you know, doing some of the officers and everybody, and she was just really, really good. And I had her to come back maybe 2 years ago to the reunion show, and she said she didn't feel comfortable in front of all the people telling her story. And I said that was fine, because some people in society still look at you differently when they know that you're taking another person's life. They still look at you differently when they know that you've done certain things. And she didn't want that guilt or shame on her. So she came on stage and she shared part of her story. And I wanted to share the whole story, but she wasn't at that place. That's why even today I won't tell you her last name or where she is now and all of that. And it's a million Glorias out here in the world. But what I would say is that I know for real life, how people can change, how they can come home and put that behind them and continue to work and be a productive citizen in our society.
And also, see, Alan, I want to just express too, a lot of times we prejudge people based upon, you know, what a particular crime, you know, entails. You know, in our mind, we create these realities about what a person has done. But I'm here to tell you that a lot of times you have to look into that particular person, because every crime has a particular definition, and that definition may not always match up to what they actually did. So, and a lot of times people get railroaded in the system as well too. I mean, you know, these lawyers come in and they talk really slick, they talk really good, they train to do this, and then they talk about this, they talk about that, and then they talk these guys and these women into taking plea agreements, and then later on down the road they find out that none of, you know, they didn't have to do this, they could have did it differently, but by then it's too late, they already have the charge on them, and then you looking at them like, okay, look, this person is this and this person is that. And when in reality, you don't know the ins and out of a particular person's situation. So I think, you know, what we should, you know, evoke is in the mind, people have to really start investigating an individual instead of saying, okay, well, this person is this person is that.
And I also think that since we're talking about solutions, I also think that one good solution would be is that if you are a business owner and you're listening to us on the Sea Island Morning Show, why not reserve 1 or 2 slots for an ex-felon? Give them an opportunity. You know, I mean, we're not crazy. We may not put them on the cash register or something like that, but why not still give them an opportunity? So I am pleading out to all the business owners that if you have a business, you know, why not put them on a regimen, bring them on board, give them a 30-hour week schedule, just to see what they can and can't do, but give people an opportunity. So when we talk about keeping the dream alive, and we're talking about today of service, why not let it be 365 days of the year? Why not give an ex-felon an opportunity? And of course, we can do our own screening with the ex-felons. We can do our own screening, and we'll be able to decipher who will be good and who wouldn't. But let's take an opportunity to bring some of them into our fold. But also, let's you know, we're not going to be crazy neither. We're not going to be stupid neither. You know the qualities that you're looking for in order to aid your business, and you know what is the correct amount of pay to give person. We're not trying to create slavery with them, giving them $7 an hour and all of that just so we can say we gave them a job and we're getting free labor. You know, what I think is important is I think that we all have to do our part. So when we talk about today, a day of service, and when we talk about keeping the dream alive, let's talk about what can we do to help rid this huge gap between people who were incarcerated to now they come home, and many of them come home to nothing. They come home to nothing, and then they find themselves back in that same cycle all over again. And that's why the guards will say when they leave, "I'll see you when you get back," because they know what society is. Let's change the way we think. This is C. Allen in the morning, 1450 AM WOL, where information is power. Today we're talking about now we're on solutions. If you have a solution, give us a call, 1-800-450-7876. We're talking about things that we can do to keep the dream alive. We'll be right back after these messages.
1450 WOL.
Soprano wear.
I'm Doug Parrish. Here's the latest from News1.com, brought to you in part by Food Line. Visit your local Food Line for thousands of MVP specials like 3-pound bags of Gala apples, $2.99. Well, the Washington area is reflecting on the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. A number of events will be taking place marking the holiday. There was a wreath laying at the King Memorial on the Mall. The MLK Day Parade being held along Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue in Southeast. President Obama and the First Lady will also take part in community service events in D.C. And tonight, the Let Freedom Ring concert will be held at the Kennedy Center. So a lot of events being held today marking this national holiday. Oh, another round of extreme winter weather is heading our way. Forecasters are calling for 2 to 4 inches of snow Tuesday. And starting tomorrow night, the temperatures will take a plunge with temps in the teens expected for several days across the D.C. area. Well, police in Montgomery County are blaming the deaths of 2 toddlers on an attempted exorcism. Those 2 young children were found stabbed to death Friday at a townhome in Germantown. Investigators say 2 women believe they were exorcising demons from the children.
Children are involved. These are very difficult situations, and I think it's impactful on everybody that's involved in this case.
Well, that's Montgomery County State's Attorney John McCarthy. The mother, Zakia Avery, and another woman, Monifa Sanford, are expected in court this week. D.C. Councilmember Marion Barry is in the hospital after what he says was another drop in his blood sugar. A spokesperson says they're hoping the 77-year-old Barry will be released sometime this week. The former mayor is a longtime diabetic and has been hospitalized several times in the last few years. And we're brought to you in part by State Farm Insurance. Call 1-800-STATE-FARM or go to statefarm.com. I'm Doug Parrish. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to news1.com.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
That's fine. Yes. All right, everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here. I tell you, we're live on the air. It's the C. Allen Morning Show. For those of you who want to talk to me off the air, because I know some of the things we talked about was really heavy today. I want you to take down my work number. It's 202-526-1400, extension 19. Again, it's 202-526-1400, extension 19. We're not at work today. Today is a holiday, but I will be there on tomorrow. Let's go to line one. Line one, this is C. Allen.
Good morning.
Good morning, Brenda. We're talking.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm chiming in today. Very important day today. Very, very, very crucial that we continue to challenge the changes that have been kind of implemented on MLK Day. Yes, it's a day of service, but more importantly, we have to continue to change, as you were saying, change the system. And I would like to become a mentor to one of your young people, and I can contact you later in the week and maybe start off by just sitting down having a conversation with someone that you might feel appropriate for me to help out. I could help out with, bus fare or whatever. And I think there are a lot of people out here that are willing to do that, but we're not connected.
Yes. Oh, Brenda, I think that is so awesome.
That is.
I think it's so awesome because we have so many people that come through the doors of the Bennett Career Institute, and some of those stories are just horrific. But we understand that that's not a tip of the iceberg of what's really going on out there. And one of the things that are desperately missing are mentors. People need someone that, if nothing else, just to listen to them and you can give them some sound advice.
Yes. Well, I'm willing, so I will contact you and give you my information. And I also know other people that would be willing to at least, meet with them and see how they could assist.
Absolutely.
Even if it's just a conversation or introducing them to someone they know, we need to connect with each other.
Most definitely. And Brenda, I'm so glad you called today, because most times people, they have a willing heart but do not know where it starts.
Exactly.
So thank you so much, Brenda.
Thank you so much.
So what I want you to do is I want you to call me in the office this week so we can have a candid conversation. Did you get the number?
Yes.
Okay.
202-526-1400.
Extension 19. Yes. Thank you so much, Brenda. All right.
Bye.
All right, everyone, and this is what I'm talking about. If I can help someone as I pass along the way, then my living will not be in vain. Now, today's show to me has been worth it because Brenda just called in, said that she's willing to pitch in, she's willing to help out. And the way it's going to work for Brenda, all of you who call me this week, that we can place a mentee with you. We want to make sure that we have a counseling training session first, because we don't want nobody to try to take advantage of you. We don't want nobody to try to suck you dry. We don't want nobody to come up with no sob story just to try to get your money, Brenda. That's not going to happen. But what we want is we want to link people up with the right kind of folks that they can be a blessing. That's what it's all about. Yes. It's all about being a blessing. And if you notice our song with Donald Lawrence, it's about the gift in you. Utilize that gift to be a blessing to someone else. Do you know what excites me? If anybody knows me, what floats my boat is to be able to do things for other people. Do things for other people with not for anything in return, but to see the smile on their face. Sometimes I think about when I want to hit Andre across his head. I think about him at my house for Christmas and seeing his face when I put 9 gift boxes in his lap, and to see his face and for him to tell me that was one of the best Christmas that he had. That's what makes me feel good. It's not all about the Kiehl's that I love, and it's not all about the Cartier, which is my favorite cologne, Declaration by Cartier, in case you wanted to know. Did you get it?
Say that again.
Declaration. So it's not about the Declaration from Cartier, and it's not about my Paris trips and London trips and all that, but it's about being a blessing. To see Trendy Linda, who got on my nerves, Alonzo, so bad because she wanted to Dre Beats for Christmas. I said, how dare you, after being on a sabbatical for 6 months, to come back wanting a $200 Dre Beats for Christmas? I said, I refuse to get it for you. I refuse. And to see her face when she opened up the box, had no clue that it was her Dre Beats, and how she stomped all across my white carpet.
And jumped in your lap.
And jumped in my lap, and my back is still hurting now. Those are the things that is a blessing to me. After the conference, the beautiful cards that the CEU people sent. Somebody sent me a dozen of Georgetown cupcakes. All that kind of stuff. People do not have to take time to show you appreciation. People do not have to take time to do anything for you. We have to be grateful on this day. What we also have to do is look in our hearts like Brenda did, and to say to yourself, what can you do to help others?
Yes.
What can you do to be a blessing to other people? One of the things that I think that we have to constantly remind ourselves is, what are we here for?
Mm-hmm.
Trending.
That's good. That is good. What are we here for? We are really here to serve others. It is, like you said, C. Allen, it is such a blessing to serve someone else. I mean, the fulfillment, the joy, and everything that comes with being a blessing to someone, seeing someone go from the street, to a place of stability and being able to provide for themselves. And all that you do for your 200 to 300 students on Thursdays, motivating them, just giving of yourself, your example, your stories, that you always have a story, and just giving them the fuel and what it needs to do what they need to do in school, and then to go back home and take care of what they need to take care of at home, and get back to school and try it again. Just being able to love on people, give them your time, give them your energy, your money, your examples and experiences. It's just a blessing. So that's what today should be filled with. It should be filled with love, with giving, with educating, with helping others. And I think Dr. Martin Luther King would be happy with us as individuals doing that part.
And let me tell you something. Everybody can be great, because anybody can serve.
Yes.
You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics and physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love.
Yes.
That's Martin Luther King words, everybody. Today on the C. Allen Morning Show, we're talking about how to keep the dream alive. Our wonderful Nia, she started off so perfectly by telling us that it starts with education. One of the things that you guys can do today, if you're listening to me, when your children or grandchildren wake up, or when they come and visit you today, why not take out time to share with them a history lesson? Why not take out time to talk to them about the meaning of service? Why not take out time to talk to them about what Martin Luther King meant to you? Why not take out an opportunity to ask them, what are they doing in their lives where they're helping other people? Do you know that many people, Trendy, they get caught up with always have their hand out, that they're realizing that they are missing the key secret? The secret to a successful life is doing things for others.
True. That's the key.
Let me say it again. The secret to having a successful life is doing things for others. So all of you sitting there with your millions of dollars and your hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, and you're not doing anything for other people, what is the purpose?
You can't take it with you.
Some of you are just as honorary and just as mean as you want to be. Some of you have a wealth of talent, knowledge. Some of you are listening to me and you're living alone in a 4 and 5 bedroom home. Why not bring some love into that home by taking in a family? My thing, everybody, is it's about also being smart. I'm not saying take any Tom, Joe Blow into your home and all of that. We have to have common sense about what we're saying. What we're saying is that when you come across someone that is in need, help them. Do you know why I feel like I'm a blessed person, Trendy? Let me tell you. I may not have any money in the bank, and I may not have the fanciest car. I may not have that convertible Bentley that I want.
Mm-hmm.
I may not have the apartment in Paris that I desire. Mm-hmm. I may not have some of the finest linen and clothing and all of that. But one thing that I find that is important, Andre, that gives me a lot of peace is that the reality of it is that what I have, I try to share and be a blessing to other people. Some people get on me, and sometimes I get on myself, because at the end of the day, when I look around and I'm broke, busted, and disgusted all over again, and I say to myself, what if I could have done? What if I should have done? At the end of the day, I believe that God always take care of me because I take care of those who are less fortunate.
Yeah.
I think it's important, everybody, that we wake up and realize that we have a job to do. Our job is not just to look pretty and go to work and be pretty and have a beautiful home and all of that. If you're not doing things in your community, today is the day to start.
Yes.
If you know that you have a senior citizen that lives next door and it's supposed to snow tomorrow, when you put ice on your place, put ice on the senior citizen place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a next door neighbor who she's married now, but when she was single, I made sure, Henry, that when I went out there and when I put salt on my front, I put salt on her front, because she was a young lady. And because she had no man in the household, I wanted to make sure that her life was a little more easier. So when I cleaned off my car, I cleaned off her car. I'm not saying this to get accolades, and I'm not saying this to be pat on the back. I'm saying this because I would want someone to do that for my mother.
Yes.
I would want someone to do that for my sister who's single, who may be living alone one day, and the blessings that I put on somebody else has now trickled down to somebody to be a blessing to her.
Yeah.
We never know what is going to happen in life. Only thing we can say is what kind of seeds are you planting? All right, everybody, it's commercial time again here on the C. Allen Morning Show. When we come back, it's our last segment. We're going to talk about some goody things that we're doing in the salon, and we have some giveaways when we come back. This is C. Allen in the Morning. We'll be back after these messages.
1450 WOL.
Look at somebody say, operate in your grace.
Good morning. This WOL traffic update is brought to you by State Farm. On the outer loop of the Beltway, Prince George's County outer loop northbound after 202 before Route 50, it's the left lane closed for construction. They're also working eastbound on Route 50 as you leave the district heading out toward the Beltway after 202 before 410. It's going to be the right lane blocked. Central Avenue westbound right at the Beltway, it was the construction in the right lane. Everyone's looking for an encouraging sign in today's economy. The fact is you'll find one right here. Contact your local State Farm agent today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now your WOL weather forecast. Under a winter storm watch for tomorrow morning through tomorrow evening. For today, though, mostly sunny, a high near 51. Cloudy overnight down to 30. And then temperatures continue to drop tomorrow down to around 20 by early afternoon with snow accumulations of up to 3 or more inches in town possible tomorrow. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Morning, gentlemen. Want to hear our specials?
Sure.
First, we have the seafood special. It's been sitting around here for a week. We're known around these parts for our food poisoning.
Wouldn't it be great if you could be warned of life's risks? If you have diabetes, you can. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that can help measure your risk of complications from diabetes. To find out more, go to www.diabetesa1c.org. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation International, and the Ad Council.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
All right, everyone, we're back here live. I tell you, we having a good time in the studio today. First of all, it's a holiday.
Yes.
And I'm sure we have some new listeners. So let me just kind of share with everyone what's going to take place. Now, I have went back to the textbook, everybody. So I will be teaching lessons starting next week. We're going to go back to the basics. We're going to be talking about hair cutting. We're going to talk about hair growth. We're going to talk about hair coloring. We're going to get into some questions that you may have. Many of you started listening to the show and became hooked because I would take you to the classrooms and give you lessons about your scalp, your skin, your body, things of that nature. I am the CEO, founder of the award-winning Bennett Career Institute, 700 Monroe Street, Northeast. So if you know someone that would like to attend the best barber school or cosmetology school or makeup artistry school, you want to send them to Bennett Career. One of the things that I'm really proud about, I've been talking about it and haven't done it, and now I've started, and that is going into the classrooms. Andre is going to go over to the Signature Salon and be the administrator over there, helping that salon to grow. Trendy Lindy is working on registering for our CEU classes, and she'll be working on the reunion hair battle. And then I am going to be downstairs on the clinic floor in the classrooms. I am a licensed instructor, and I'm going to be working with the students one-on-one, working with them to help them build themselves up, not only their emotions and not only their self-esteem, but also giving them the best training possible in the field of cosmetology and barbering. And I'm really excited about that. I said to myself I wanted to mentor, and the first thing came to my mind was you have 200-some students who need you right in those classrooms to help them become a better barber, a better stylist, a better makeup artist. And that is what I'm looking forward to doing. So I'm looking forward to getting from behind my desk, work with the instructors, as well as work with the students. So I've been working on my instructional aids. I went to Staples, at home both books, the barber and the cosmetology textbook. And I'm just really excited about digging back in there because I feel that it's so much more that we can do. And a lot of times talk is cheap and actions speak louder than words. So I'll be wearing my lab jacket and I'll be back there. But then also, everyone, I am going to be in the salon on Mondays because Mondays is the day when I leave the studio. I'm going to go into the 705 Signature Salon. So if there's anyone that's looking for consultations, you want C. Allen to talk to you about your hair, I have a great team that's going to be working with me. Rashida Franklin, you heard about her. She does our beauty moment in a minute. Tiffany Dickinson, another one. The three of us, along with the new barber that we're going to have there, the four of us are going to work as a team to really revitalize the Washington area with the people, especially from the radio show. So if you never had a winterization, if you never had the hydration station, we want you to call me. If you would like consultation, if you need some, if you're having a growth issue, your hair's thinning, lots of different things going on, I am going to go back behind the chair along with my team to beautify you, and it's not going to cost a whole lot of money. Our goal is to make sure that you make the C. Allen Signature Salon or the C. Allen Salon on Martin Luther King the home place for you to come, and we can be the backup for your stylist. We're not trying to take you away from your barber or your stylist. We can be the backup, but Andre is going to be there, and he's going to be adjusting my schedule with clients. The clients hopefully will come from you. One of the things that I specialize in is relaxers. I love doing relaxers. I love doing sets. Rashid and Tiffany are really great with silk pressing and blowouts and all of that. We have a great cutter there. So I just want you to think about the team, our new stuff. Andre is putting together a nice new media kit for myself and the C. Allen Signature team. We do Fashion Week twice a year. Well sought after team. This weekend at the White House, there were a lot of engagements, and my phone was ringing off the hook for stylists to come there and to service some of the celebrities that was in town for not only King Weekend, but for our First Lady. So I turned those calls over to Elizabeth, our manager there, because Andre won't be in place until this week. But then those calls will go to him, and we will design our team to be able to service you. So we're looking for professional clientele, people that would like to be in a nice, clean environment, an environment where, of course, customer service is to its highest call, but it doesn't have to have a high-priced ticket to have customer service. So we don't feel that you shouldn't stay away because we take your coat when you come in. We usher you in a kimono, depending on the service that you're getting. We cater to you with your drink of choice. It doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. Some of you think because I'm the CEO of the Bennett Korea that if I touch your hair, it's going to cost $1 million. That is not true. That's why we have a team of people that's going to be able to help you to make sure it's about the healthiness of your hair. Is our most important thing. It's not about just doing your hair and sending you out the way, but it's about educating you on how to maintain healthy hair, and that's what it's about. You need to get a pen and paper because I'm going to give you the number where you can reach Andre this week to make appointments for me and my team to service you. We would like to be the doctors of hair for you at the C. Allen Signature Salon. That number is 202-265-1772. Again, that number is 202-265-1772. It is the C. Allen Signature Salon. We're right next to the Operating Bookstore and the Florist, right on the corner of 7th and Florida Avenue. Our parking lot is the Georgia Avenue, right there where the Howard Hospital is. Across from Howard Hospital is a parking lot, and that is the parking lot where all of our clients will park, and you just walk right around the corner. For those of you, we do have an access where you can get in if you're in a wheelchair, and we have 2 doors, and one door just have 1 step up. So I think it's important that you think about coming to visit us at the C. Allen Signature Salon, 705 Florida Avenue, Northwest, and then Trendy Lindy is going to be overseeing the Martin Luther King Salon. And that's another place where she's going to be scheduling me. If you're close to Southeast or Maryland and you would like to meet me at the Martin Luther King Salon, you are to call Trendy Lindy at 202-526-1400 extension 18. Trendy Lindy, 202-526-1400 extension 18. And for Andre and our award-winning team at the Signature Salon, is 202-265-1772. So not only do I want to come into your homes every Monday and your office buildings and your workplace and your cars and some of you traveling in your trucks and vans and all of that, but also I want to be able to service you in the salon. I want you to sit in the chair and let C. Allen meet you personally, and let's talk about how we can continue to maintain healthy hair. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. Do not come to C. Allen and you want those little pencil curls and all this stuff because, ma'am, I don't do none of that. Now, I have team members able to do that, but I don't do none of that. My job is to do consultation. I can give you a great relaxer. I can do awesome things with the rollers. I can give you sets. I can do things of that nature. And then my team comes in, and we will tag team on your hair to give you some of the best services some of the best services that you can find. We'll be able to do that at the C. Allen Signature Salon and the C. Allen Salon. So Trendy Lindy, our time is almost up. Why don't you tell us really quickly, do you have a special or something with your trendylindy.com? Is something going on?
Well, we're still losing pounds, losing inches. If you're wanting to lose some weight and you're wanting to feel better, you take diabetic medicine, you want to get off of the medicine and things of that nature, go to trendylindy.com, and that's spelled TRENDILINDI.com, and you can look on the website and find out all about the wonderful products. The Plexus Slim is the one that you want to get to lose the inches off of your belly, and that product is endorsed by Dr. Oz, the ingredients that's in it. So avail yourself to it, and you'll be glad that you did.
All right, let me tell you about this Trendy Lindy real quick. You know, she had to, all right, listeners, you know somebody had to get ready. Andre didn't get it. So Trendy gonna get it. First of all, because it dawned on me, Andre, I'm not talking to you, Trendy, I'm talking to Andre. Andre, it makes a lot of sense now. First of all, you know I'm slow. It take me a minute to get it. I'm trying to figure out why Trendy Lindy on the radio want to be Trendy Lindy at work.
Oh,
and her name is Linda West Point at the office of C. Allen. She's going around saying Trendy Lindy, and I thought about it, Andre. What she trying to do is she trying to brand Trendy Lindy all day. She trying to
Yes.
bring in Trendy Lindy all day long while she's sitting in Sea Island Systems. If she wanted to be Trendy Lindy all day long, then she need to get her own office, her own desk, and her own telephone.
You said that. You said that.
And my own radio show.
You said that.
How about my own
Did you
radio
hear what I
show?
said?
You said that. Hey,
Did you hear what I said?
Hey, Ciala, can I
I'm
say one more
trendy,
thing before we
Lindy, and
leave?
I'm
Though?
loving it.
I want to say
Go
one more
ahead.
thing before we go. I want to give a shout out to Noah Films. It's a new film company that we coming out. We're putting out documentaries about, you know, the subject that Sea Island talked about, recidivism, and the first series is called By My Stripes. So y'all be on the lookout for that. We're gonna be updating you with information on that as well. So
I tell
thank
you,
sir.
He said,
I tell you, all right, everybody, listen, my time is up, but I just tell you the truth. First of all, that Trendy Lindy
She
want to
is
be at
a
work.
hot mess.
Alonzo, she want to be at her desk. And
Right, this is Trendy Lindy.
for
How may I
people to
help
call
you?
for business purposes, and she's answering the phone with Trendy Lindy. And now Henri talking about some Noah Films and all this stuff. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all want to open up your own businesses, then y'all need to find a business to open. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my time is up. We have to go. Remember, everyone, have a great week. Pamper yourself. It's your duty.
Keep the dream
Why?
alive.
because you are worth it.
Have a good week, everyone. Thank you so much. Make sure this is a day of service. Be a blessing to someone else.
It looks good on you. Come on, tenor.
1450 WOL. Hey, parents of children with asthma, here's the Breathe Easies with another one of your favorite hits.
Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke around the kids in the house. Don't smoke in the car. Don't smoke in the house. Don't break my heart with your secondhand smoke in the kids. It can trigger the asthma.
Preventing asthma attacks can be as simple as making your home and car smoke-free zones. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org. Up next, well, what do you know? The Breathe Easies with another hit song, Vacuum Up the Floor.
Vacuum up the floor. Vacuum up the floor. Yeah. Vacuum up the floor. The asthma trigger is no more. You gotta vacuum up the furniture and vacuum in the cracks because the dander and the dust can give kids asthma attacks.
Simple steps can help your kids breathe easier. Vacuum up the floor to keep your house free of dust, dander, and dust mites. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org. Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a pep talk that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You can improve your future. Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and for free classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
1450 WOL, Washington, D.C., and WPRS HD2, Waldorf, Washington, a Radio 1 station, and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
The following is a paid advertisement by Purity Products. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases.
Hello and welcome once again to Healthline by Purity Products. I'm your host, Pat Campbell. We have got a fascinating show for you today, so don't go anywhere, especially if you're interested in keeping your brain function sharp and your energy level high. Dr. Pressman is here to introduce not one, but two of the hottest new evidence-based ingredients to hit the market in quite some time. We're talking about things like memory, mood, attention, even coping with stress. And maybe even more compelling are the clinically tested benefits for boosting physical performance, increasing endurance, vitality, and even promoting muscle strength. And believe it or not, a new study even shows that it can enhance libido. So don't even dream about changing that dial. Dr. Pressman is here. Now, Dr. Alan Pressman is no stranger to radio listeners. For 5 decades, you've heard him talking about health and nutrition on his own radio program in New York. He holds a Ph.D. in clinical nutrition. He's an educator, a lecturer, an author, a former college professor of nutrition. He's a longtime advisor to Purity Products, one of the largest direct-to-consumer providers of dietary supplements in North America. With all of that said, Dr. Pressman, welcome.
Pat, great to be with you.
Now, Dr. Pressman, I want to get right into this chart you guys sent me on this CeraBoost ingredient Purity gets from Europe. Basically, I'm looking at a chart which visually illustrates the short-term impact of this CeraBoost on working memory. And the arrow is basically pointing straight up. It looks pretty amazing what this stuff can do. So tell us about CeraBoost and why it inspired the launch of Plan 200, this hot new supplement that you've co-developed with Purity Products.
Well, there is an enormous amount of interest these days in brain function, Pat, and we're really excited about this. CeraBoost is a formula of American ginseng, and it's been shown in numerous studies to have what we call cognitive enhancing properties, meaning it improves your memory. In fact, a new study from the Brain Science Institute at the Swinburne University in Melbourne, Australia, shows that CeraBoost can do 4 major things, 5 major things really. Improved memory, your working memory, meaning your long-term and short-term memory. It normalizes your reaction time. It increases calmness. It induces calmness in people. It literally improves your mood. And on top of that, it improves your attention span. So researchers call CeraBoost, in quotes now, a robust working memory enhancement formula. And it does it in a number of very interesting ways. Now, what we did, and I think this was very smart, we combined CeraBoost with an adaptogenic food called KSM200 to create a nutrient that affects both the brain and the body at the same time. It's really a one-of-a-kind combination, a dynamic duo, if you will, of nutrients that can create optimal brain energy and function, can enhance your memory, your concentration, and your focus, can improve your mood at the same time, and on top of that, create physical energy, improve your stamina, eliminate fatigue, allow you to cope and deal with the stress of your life, reduce anxiety, and improve your sex drive. Basically, Plan 200 improves and makes your brain and body work together and work better. Now, that's what I call a great plan.
Now, Dr. Pressman, at the core of Plan 200, you've got 2 fascinating ingredients. CeraBoost, the clinically validated brain booster, which you just described, and something called KSM66, a different kind of extract that took over 10 years to develop. Now, before we get back to the CeraBoost, I want to spotlight this KSM66 because it really sounds, well, almost too good to be true. Tell me about it.
Well, that's what some of our team said. KSM66 belongs to a class of herbs called adaptogen. KSM66 is a botanical extract. It's the best adaptogen ever. In fact, it's being called the royal herb because of its ability to rejuvenate the body, but also on top of that, it has a very powerful positive effect on your neurological system, on your immune system, your energy production, your endocrine system, your glands, and your reproductive system. In fact, one of my students called them the Thrive 5. Because, as I put it, when they thrive, you thrive. They reset your energy, reset your stamina, and also on top of that, Pat, KSM66, this herb, has major health-related properties, including being a powerful antioxidant, therefore very cardioprotective. And the research shows that it has a tremendous ability to reduce stress, who doesn't want that, reduce anxiety, support your glandular function, supports immunity, helps your body manage inflammation, it protects your nerves, and it even enhances your ability to understand, what we call enhances your ability to have enhanced cognition. It's really quite an amazing botanical. It's a complex blend, by the way, Pat, of plant-based substances. These are called phytochemicals that have a really wide range of wonderful actions in the human body. In fact, there was a study that showed that it extended lifespan in some studies. So if you put all of that together, this adaptogenic nutrient helps you deal with the stress of your life. I'll take some of that. Gives you cognitive support, gives you cardiac support, supports your entire body. In fact, there was a great report on joint function. It's great for your sexual health. One last thing on this, because I get all excited about this.
Sure.
The research, there were 6 new studies, and a lot of the studies were supervised by faculty members at UCLA. They found that this KSM66 literally can reduce stress and anxiety and improve your general well-being, enhances male sexual function, improves what we call cardiorespiratory endurance in athletes and sports athletes, improves muscle strength. Pretty darn dramatic, I'd say.
Now, Dr. Pressman, I'm looking at the list of the studies on this KSM-66. I mean, wow. Improving physical endurance, increasing muscle strength, relieving stress, fighting fatigue, enhancing libido, and there's more. But here's the thing. In the literature you sent me, it says a lot about energy and vitality. In fact, the word rejuvenate seems to pop up just about everywhere. Now, talk for a moment why you think KSM-66 is absolutely indispensable for anybody looking to replenish their energy levels, their sense of vibrance and well-being without, and this is so important, without that stimulant effect, without the jitter. So this is amazing. Explain it to me.
Well, Pat, that's why it's called an adaptogen. This KM66, it doesn't stimulate you. It doesn't sedate you. The key word here, Pat, is it balances you. So if you are too high, let's say you've got a lot of irritability or anxiety, it brings you down to normal. If you're too low, if you're tired and you have poor stamina and you're just fatigued, it brings you up to normal. So it allows for the ability for you to constantly adapt to what's going on in your life. Basically, it keeps you in balance. So no matter what the stress is in your life, whether it be physical or biological or chemical or emotional, KSM-66 as an adaptogen allows you to resist, allows you to adapt, allows you to deal with whatever the issue is. And at the same time, it increases your ability to concentrate. It increases performance, physical and mental performance. It increases your stamina, increases endurance. It literally allows you to relax and feel calm. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, who doesn't want to feel rejuvenated?
Yeah.
It's the best of both worlds. The amazing combination of Cereboost and KSM-66 in our Plan 200 allows and encourages all of that to happen. It is the ultimate adaptogen.
Now, a minute ago, we were hinting about how this fights stress and anxiety, even as it dramatically lifts physical performance and stamina. I want you to touch on the study that specifically looked at how KSM fights stress and tension. The results were pretty incredible, to say the least. We're talking a 40 to 70% reduction in stress, not to mention, and this is a key, a 17.9% drop in serum cortisol levels. Now, cortisol is one of those key stress hormones in the body, so this is exactly what you want to happen. So talk about this relationship and why it's a crucial benefit of the KSM-66 that many people fail to fully appreciate.
Yeah, I really love talking about this. Whenever we speak about stress, and tension, we have to speak about the stress hormone cortisol. So let's review that. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It's made in the outer portion of the adrenal gland. These are two little glands that sit on top of your kidneys, and it has many, many important jobs, cortisol does. It controls how you react to stress. It controls your blood sugar and your insulin level, so therefore it plays a role in your weight. It's an energy producer. It influences the way you sleep, the way you fall asleep, and if you stay asleep. It influences your mood. It influences immunity, and it has got a ton of other things that it does. When we are under lots of stress, and I don't care what kind of stress it is, whether it's job stress or money or health or family or spouse, your kids, whatever, cortisol levels can get too high. And when cortisol levels get too high, many unfortunate negative things seem to occur. They did a great study on this in Australia. They did another study in Japan, one in the United States, a few in France. And what they found out was very interesting, that the effects of elevated cortisol are not very pleasant. It stimulates fat deposits, which can result, as I said, in weight gain, can increase fat accumulation around that belly, that waist fat, can increase what we call protein breakdown, which means you're going to lose muscle and gain fat. That's not a good combination. Now, here's the key. KSM-66 actually balances cortisol levels. That is really, really important, and that's why it's classified to begin with as an adaptogen. It allows us as individuals to adapt to stress. That is really important given what happens when cortisol levels get too high, as I told you. Well, the research shows, as you said, that we can have an 18% drop in cortisol levels with a 40 to 70% reduction in the level of perceived stress. And that is really, really significant. And by the way, when cortisol levels are too high, for example, testosterone levels, the male hormone levels, get too low. When you balance cortisol, you're balancing levels of testosterone. It's the same thing in females. with other hormones being involved.
Now, Dr. Pressman, let's turn back to this other ingredient in Plan 200, the CeraBoost, which, as you mentioned before, is a pretty remarkable evidence-based memory and focus ingredient Purity gets from Europe. Now, what's so awesome about this is that while typical brain supplements can take weeks and sometimes even months to give you a noticeable benefit, this ingredient has been shown to work within only hours. In fact, the Brain Science Institute in Australia tested 200 milligrams of CeraBoost in a group of healthy volunteers. In fact, the exact dose that you get in Plan 200, and they found significant enhancements in terms of working memory. Not in weeks, not even in days, but only in a couple of hours. Pretty remarkable stuff. So tell me about the CeraBoost compound and why it's becoming the hot new go-to ingredient for evidence-based cognitive enhancement.
You know, I must tell you, the study you just mentioned was really impressive. What they were able to accomplish, and it's the time frame that's so crucial. When we were using CeraBoost on individuals, the research showed at the Brain Science Institute in Melbourne, as you mentioned, showed calmness, memory enhancement, what we call better neurocognition, improved mood, brain protection, enhanced learning ability. Well, here's the amazing thing. Not only was it amazing that this supplement can do all of that, but it all occurred in a matter not of hours, but in some cases, 55 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, you don't have to wait days to feel better energy, better mood, better concentration and focus. I mean, I take this. It's pretty fabulous. Look, the CeraBoost itself is a combination of American ginseng, and that total picture of how that enhances your cognition, improving working memory, again, your short and long-term memory, normalizes your reaction time. In other words, when you're in concentration and focus, you're there. It induces calmness, improves your mood, improves your attention span, and as they put it as an end result of this research, it has very positive neurocognitive effects, and it has robust working memory enhancement. And again, it doesn't take days to do this. We're talking as little as 55 minutes, your brain is going to be different. That is amazing.
Now, Dr. Pressman, Purity Products has an incredible free bottle offer today. They'll ship out a free bottle of Plan 200 to our listeners who get to put it to the test. All they've got to do is pay $4.95 for shipping. Even that's 100% refundable. Sort of seems like a no-brainer, huh?
Well, it sure is a no-brainer because you can listen to me speak about this as I tell this to my students. You can listen to this. The best thing to do after you've gotten all the facts is get some and try it, and you will see within an hour things are starting to change. You're feeling calmness. You're feeling relaxed. You've got better concentration. Memory is better. Focus is better. Your brain and your body are communicating. They're working together, and Purity has figured out a way to allow the public to try this at no cost.
More from our guest, Dr. Alan Pressman. But first, folks, there's a lot of dietary supplements out there, and as you've been hearing, few are as compelling as this incredible fast-acting Plan 200 from Purity Products. And the best part? Today, Purity has a radio offer that lets you try it out for free. Here's the deal. Be one of the first 1,000 callers from today's show. All you pay for is shipping, just $4.95, which is 100% refundable, by the way. And then Purity is going to rush you out a free bottle of Plan 200 so you can see and experience the difference for yourself. It's that simple. A live rep will be standing by to take your order so you can lock in your free bottle and get started today. Folks, they're even giving you an easy phone number. Get this, 1-800-200-6510. That's 1-800-200-6510. Purity somehow got the 200 in the number for this Plan 200 formula. Boy, they've thought of everything. Again, 1-800-200-6510. Plan 200 stands for Performance Lifting Activated Nutrition, and it does exactly what the name implies, delivering a long list of awesome benefits guaranteed to enhance your quality of life on many different levels. And it's something you'll experience the very first day you take it because it goes to work within only hours. So what are you waiting for? Pick up the phone, call now. It all begins with your free phone call to this Plan 200 hotline. Just call 1-800-200-6510. That's 1-800-200-6510. Again, call right now. Get your free bottle of Plan 200 and see what all the buzz is about. This product is not available in stores, and this offer is not, I repeat, is not available online. Only directly through this number the Purity is set up for today's show. So pick up the phone, call right now. 1-800-200-6510. That number one more time, slowly, for those of you writing it down. Here we go. 1-800-200-6510. Dr. Pressman, for those just tuning in, one of the major highlights today is this groundbreaking new clinical study that showed 200 milligrams of Cereboost significantly improved a wide range of measures related to cognitive function. Specifically, these subjects were able to focus more intently, react more quickly, think more clearly, recall more accurately, and again, this works not in weeks or days, but only in a few hours. We already used the word groundbreaking here a couple of times, but this really is powerful. Who wouldn't want to enhance their brain function?
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, I cannot think of one reason, any job or anything or anybody that would not benefit from brain enhancement. No matter how old you are, you want a sharper brain. And there's a whole bunch of information in what we call the neurosciences devoted to this. And that area is called restorative neurology. And that's exactly what we're doing with this combination of Cereboost in Plan 200. It is an amazing combination. It is so powerful that it impacts your body and your brain. It brings them into balance. That's what's so crucial. And the key is just that. The Brain Sciences Institute in Melbourne knocked it out of the park when they said you're accomplishing calmness, you're accomplishing memory enhancement, you're improving your mood, you're enhancing learning ability, and at the same time, you're improving your physical stamina and your physical energy. That is a combination that everybody wants.
Again, Purity is giving away a free bottle today of this exciting new Plan 200. Simply call and mention the free bottle offer. All you pay for is shipping. Here's the phone number, 1-800-200-6510. Again, 1-800-200-6510. It all begins with your free phone call to this Plan 200 hotline. So call 1-800-200-6510. That's 1-800-200-6510. Now, Dr. Pressman, here's where a lot of the guys out there are going to turn up the volume on their radios, because on top of all of these incredible studies we've already covered, there's actually a new study which showed that KSM seems to nudge up testosterone levels in men, and perhaps more importantly, they were able to demonstrate an actual lift in libido, which is perhaps the effect most men associate with testosterone. So, unlike so many of the so-called herbal testosterone boosters that are out there that can maybe lift a number on a blood test, this KSM delivers the actual real-world benefits that most men really want most. And we should point out, this is something women can safely take as well. Fascinating stuff. Talk about the significance of this, how this relates to men exclusively, and why for the typical guy out there, this is such an exciting benefit.
Well, it's a good question. In fact, libido is impacted by many different factors. So it's a very exciting area. But here's the key. KSM 66 normalizes your levels of cortisol. Remember, we established that before. At the same time, because it normalizes cortisol, it also normalizes testosterone levels. And as we pointed out, when cortisol levels elevate, when you're under a lot of stress, and that stress hormone coming out of your adrenal glands gets too high, your testosterone levels drop. So as cortisol goes up, your libido and your testosterone go down. But this nutrient, KSM 66, normalizes cortisol. If it's too high, it brings it down. And when that cortisol goes down, guess what happens? Your testosterone goes up. And as testosterone goes up, so does your libido. So libido goes up, and between what the research showed us, that KSM 66 balances testosterone, and it does so at a dosage of 675 milligrams. Well, that is exactly the amount we put into our Plan 200, 675 milligrams.
Now, Dr. Pressman, I want to paint the full picture here of what happens when you start taking this amazing new Plan 200 formula. Now, we already know the Cereboost is going to kick in within an hour or so, but tell us, as the days and weeks go by, as people use this as part of their daily regimen, what else starts to happen? Based on the clinical research, what should people expect?
Well, remember, when cortisol levels come down, you sleep like a baby. When cortisol levels are up, you've got issues with falling asleep, you've got issues with staying asleep. We call that fragmented sleep. And you wonder why you wake up in the morning just as tired, if not more so, than before you went to bed. But what this amazing nutrient does, this amazing Plant 200, it normalizes cortisol, and that allows you to fall asleep and stay asleep for the right amount of time. You're also going to develop better strength physically. You're going to feel less stress. You're going to have a better time remembering things. You're going to learn and have better and easier memory. Who the heck doesn't want all of that? I mean, that is pretty darn impressive. Now, one last thing on this. Plant 200 is all natural. It's an all-natural formula designed to lift and support your performance in life, in all areas of life, because it combines an adaptogenic herb and nutrients to support brain function. The combination there, to summarize, an increase in physical and mental energy, better physical performance, incredible stamina and endurance, brain energy leading to improvements in your memory, your cognition, decreased stress, increased calmness, even a better sex life. I mean, that sounds pretty terrific to me.
Now, Dr. Pressman, we have an ingredient here, this KSM. It's backed by human clinical trials. It's been shown to increase strength and boost stamina, relieve stress and fatigue, support the immune system, promote cognitive function, soothe and calm the nerves without causing drowsiness. On top of this, it seems to enhance libido and sexual energy, rejuvenate your energy levels, and potentially even get you a better night's sleep. Kind of hard to believe most people have never heard about this stuff, right?
Well, you're right, yeah, especially considering that KSM is one of the most